This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter reaction, and today we are going to be tackling chapter 269. And yeah, it's been a long 2 weeks since the last chapter, so yeah. And also, yeah, I know that after this chapter, we're going to be on another break for another 2 weeks. So I guess they wanted to make sure that they tried to be productive as possible during all this mess. And so yeah. So back, you know what? Right now we should focus on today. So on the previous chapter of My Hero Academia, with chapter 268, we did had some action with the heroes in the laboratory dealing with the high-end Nomus, and the Sindel Nomu was is fully awake and stuff has been gone nutty, and saying Murkrow being close to death after getting the tar beaten out of her by Majin and Sindel and all that crap. And Murkrow saying you have to stop Shigaraki before he comes out of that pod. So let's see what happens, and let's continue with My Hero Academia chapter 269. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. And we don't get a full cover page again, and we got the title of My Hero Academia, chapter number 269, having the title being called The Three of Us, by Kohei Horikoshi, translation by Caleb Cook, and lettering from John Hurt. And we continue where we left off with after Endeavor catches Murkrow, and some of the test tubes of the other Nomus that weren't finished yet are leaking out now. And we continue where Murkrow is like, oh my god, Murkrow is badly beaten up, and like her side, we saw the damage from throughout the chapters. Both her legs have been shredded, and her side of her stomach is basically gnawed out, and her entire, I want to say, left arm is completely crushed, and one of her ears is completely destroyed. As we see Endeavor trying to help Murkrow as best as he could, with Endeavor saying, I'm going to cauterize. I'm cauterizing your wounds. Get ready. This is gonna hurt." So he's gonna use his flame quirk to seal as much of much of the bleeding and the cuts and getting gnawed to bits from Murkrow's damage. And Murkrow is getting muffled by Endeavor's handkerchief and getting ready to not try to not break her teeth as well with that. With Murkrow saying, "He's still back there." And we go back into Endeavor's thoughts, and he's having and he's using he's doing his dialogue in his head, saying, "It's been almost 5 whole minutes since she contacted us from here. Was she facing multiple? She was she was she facing multiple talking Nomu all alone? Well, she did annihilate one high end, but that was kind of pathetic. And she did take on some of them, and some she got lucky. And we're moving on to page 2 as Endeavor continues to talk to Murkrow, saying, "Add this to what I owe you from Kasuishu Kashu Keishu. So you better not die on me." And Murkrow's just feeling the pain of Endeavor as he's starting cauterizing the wounds. And with Murkrow saying, "What the hell? You don't owe me crap." and we get rudely interrupted, the conversation, by someone, and it turns out it's the Sindel high-end Nomu, and she starts saying, "You're number 1 needs more," as she crops down from high above, and she's about to attack Endeavor with her teeth, saying, "Make me feel more amazing," as she just about to dive attack into Endeavor and biting into Endeavor. And we cut away to the other heroes with Aizawa, President Mike, Crust, and oh, I know, I just can't remember the um fudge. Deadshot, the Deadshot parody, and while they are still fighting the other high-end Numus with Cage and Elephant still fighting, and we get Crust continuing saying, getting a communication from the radio from up above, and I think that's supposed to be the person on the radio with Crust listening. Oh, it's Murkrow. Never mind. There's also a little hint that Murkrow's bunny ears are on the speech bubble, telling us that, yeah, this is Murkrow saying, "Listen up, people. Shigaraki is in that capsule back there." And Crust is continuing saying, "Murkrow?" And in his head, he's thinking to himself, "You're alive?" And Murkrow continues with a flashback going into when we saw Sindel in the tank a couple of chapters back, with Murkrow saying, and while Murkrow is saying all this, she's huffing and puffing, "The capsule will probably activate him, just like how these things woke up from a zap of electricity. All like zzz." And next panel, Murkrow continues saying, "Don't let Shigaraki wake up. He's not just some small-time thug. Not anymore." As we also see the multiple panels of Elephant, Cage, and Majin. And yeah, Majin pretty much regenerated. He was just a head the last time we saw him, so he's basically got his full body back. And Majin saying in his head, "My body still hasn't come back to life. Oh no." As we move on to the next page, we see Aizawa coming in, and I think this is supposed to be Majin saying, "I can't use my quirks." As Aizawa just comes into the panel and being kick-ass, looking badass for that's Horikoshi's art. And I think we get into Aizawa's inner monologue saying, "All the strength I was endowed with as a all the strength I was endowed with as a high-end." Oh, this is probably Majin continuing. "They're using sheer force to shrug it off like it's nothing." And we get Aizawa being a badass, taking on Majin. And I think we go. I don't know who's speaking, saying, "Eraser, you guys go on ahead." As we quickly cut back to where the rest of the pro heroes are from the hospital, and I can't remember which one is speaking. And the guy is saying, "Once we get these things locked down, we'll be right behind you." And as we continue with the next panel with was Aizawa still fighting Majin, and I don't know. I think this is supposed to be Aizawa saying this next part, saying, "Backup should arrive in a matter of seconds, but those few seconds are still a problem. Right, Mukuro?" And yeah, we cut to the next page, and I think we get more Aizawa dialogue saying, "The Nomu, they evaded my eraser. probably started fighting Endeavor. It's trying to stay out of my it's trying to stay out of my line of sight. I could go and erase its quirks again, but I can't afford to blink in the meantime, because I can't let these other three get their quirks back. So I can't move forward. And we cut away to the Deadshot parody, and we do get his real name. His name is I-Gun Hero Exilus. And we get Aizawa commanding Exilus and Mike saying, Exilus, Exilus, Mike, get in here. And we see, I can't really tell, I think it's on the last panel of page 5, I think that's supposed to be Majin guarding the way, and he's saying, you're not going anywhere, as we see Mike and Exilus try to deal with Majin, I think, according to the art. And on the next page, we see that Majin gets attacked from the side by Crust by throwing one of his shields, bashing into the side, doing a Captain America move. Yeah, kind of badass when you think about it, just tossing one of his shields on Majin, giving enough time for Mike and Exilus to continue forward. And Crust is saying, go, 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 as we see President Mike and Exilus continuing, and Aizawa gives encouragement to President Mike, saying, with Aizawa saying, get it done. As we continue with President Mike just doing his thing, just about to go in there. As we cut to the last panel on page 7, we continue where the Mad Doctor is, and he's still trying to salvage whatever he can after Murkuro's little rampage in the room. And the Mad Doctor starts talking again, and he says, the machines, they're busted, but what about the data? Perfect. Just have to wake him up before more fluid leaks out. But damn, I hate to do it when he's only half baked. Oh no, he's gonna release Shigaraki early. That's not good. And Mad Doctor continues, all for one and me, this was meant to be the culmination of our dream. Blast it all. As we see on the next page, on page 8, we do see the Mad Doctor lifting up the remote, just getting to wake up Shigaraki, as the Mad Doctor say, awaken, Tomura Shigaraki. And sadly, he gets rudely interrupted by President Mike doing the mother of all canary cries and unleashing his canary cry, using his quirk to completely decimate the entire lab and destroying the tube of Shigaraki's pod, with President Mike's attack being called Loud Voice. And it's a big frickin' one, sending the Mad Doctor flying and destroying everything. And on the next page, the carnage of President Mike still keeps going with his big mother epic canary cries, destroying everything. Oh my god, that's a lot of carnage. That's gotta be freaking loud. As we see Shigaraki falling onto the floor out of his tube, and we only get to see a small preview of what he looks like. And we see the Mad Doctor bleeding out of his ears, because that's gotta be very high decibels with that canary cry. And we see on the next page, we do see Shigaraki hit the floor. And President Mike is just about to do something, and he looks pissed off. And I think by the art, he's going to hit the Mad Doctor And yeah, he's entitled to being pissed after all, knowing about how his best friend Shirakumo, I think his name was Shirakumo, was turned into Kirigiri and basically perverted his best friend into turning into no, a Nomu, like a high-end Nomu. And we get a flashback to the conversation with President Mike and Aizawa after their little trip to the prison and tried to see if they could save Korogiri and tried to make him good. As Aizawa continues saying his President Mike's real name, Yamda. Yamda. If you're really going, I will too. And on the next page, we get another flashback to the three of them before um, Korogiri, the Shirakumo, before his death. And I think Aizawa is still continuing saying, that naive dream of ours as kids, it turned into a nightmare now. But still, the three of us could. And we rudely interrupt that flashback with President Mike continuing saying, find out, and with we get that flashback interruption, and we have President Mike saying, find out if you're the real thing. I think it would be much better from the first translation I saw on Friday, saying having this scene with President Mike saying, let's make sure you're the real one. Because on the next page we get an epic punch as President Mike does his best. I am a man! Just punching the Mad Doctor straight in the jaw, basically breaking it at this point. And the art looks freaking fantastic with President Mike looking freaking pissed as he does his big punch in the face, pretty much breaking the Mad Doctor's jaw. And while, yeah, that's a kind of a badass punch for President Mike, and he kind of earned it. And President Mike continues saying, that one's for making my pal cry. And we see Exless near Shigaraki on the next page, and Exless says, huh? Not breathing. Okay, so what's going on here? And Exless continues saying, his heart stopped. So is Shigaraki dead? Is that what it implies? As we see in the next panel, we see President Mike grabbing onto the Mad Doctor's coat and just about to probably beat more into the Mad Doctor more, as the Mad Doctor continues saying, he's in a death. And strangely enough, at least he's not slurring his words because, well, yeah, he did get his jaw broke. So I'm not surprised that I'm surprised that his jaw is still there and not broken, and he's slurring his words after that big punch from President Mike. But I can easily argue that, yeah, with the Mad Doctor's rejuvenation quirk, I think it's just because rejuvenation and regeneration is kind of two different things. But if that's how it's implied, then I'd let it slide. With the Mad Doctor continuing saying, he's in a death-like state to better withstand the burden of the process. That capsule was for facilitating the procedure while preserving and reviving him. And we get a big close zoom on the Mad Doctor, and he's like crying out his eyes out, saying, ah, I've only been living for the boy's sake, for Shigaraki. As while while the Mad Doctor continues, we have the rest of the pro heroes finally coming in to assist. And we get the pro heroes fighting the last of the high-end Nomus, while the Mad Doctor continues for a little bit, saying, but now it's over. As we see all of the heroes, Gran Torino, Lock, Lock, Lock-on, and Dragon Lady fighting the Sindel high-end Nomu, with the Mad Doctor continuing saying, "It's all over." Next page, on page 16, we see also another badass attack from Endeavor, doing a epic fire punch on the Sindel Nomu, basically popping her goddamn head off, and also burning it, so Sindel Nomu is dead at this point. And on the last page of the chapter, we get the Mad Doctor, and we get a zoom in on the dead-like Shigaraki on the floor, with the Mad Doctor saying, with the scenes going with Shigaraki's lifeless core body, the bridge to Tartarus prison, and we go inside Tartarus prison with All for One, while the Mad Doctor's saying, the Lord of Evil's dream will die. And next chapter will come out in 2 weeks on May the 10th. So yeah, this is basically saying that the battle of the hospital is basically over. So I don't know where this story's gonna go. I guess we're probably in 2 weeks we are going to go back to the hotel and wrap that up, because we have Tokoyami still fighting Dabi. So we have to see how that fight ends. And so I guess the Mad Doctor is captured and Shigaraki is captured, and they did say like one little bit of electricity will set off Shigaraki, so he's not activated yet. He's just a bit of a powder keg at the moment. That Shigaraki has become this powder keg, just waiting to go off, and it just needs that one spark from an idiot to set him off. And even much more scarier, there's a whole lot of pro heroes in the same room. You just have to hit one idiot just to set off Shigaraki and turning him on, and Shigaraki would have a giant basically an all-you-can-eat buffet of quirks from pro heroes if Shigaraki does have All for One's quirk, and that's kind of a scary thought to think about. But we won't know until 2 weeks go by. And we still have the Mad Doctor still knowing about Izuku's Midoriya's quirk being one for all, and having the Mad Doctor know that, yeah, he was quirkless, so that little plot point might get brought up, maybe, but I'm kinda doubt it, but I feel like it would be very interesting of a way to go that way, but I doubt it. But it could happen, so I guess. So we won't know until 2 weeks, and probably my best guess at the end of 2 weeks, the next chapter, that would be chapter 270? 270? I think we're going back to the hotel to wrap up the stuff there. We still have the stuff with Dabi and Tokoyami still fighting it out, and Hawks still being there. And sadly, we didn't get much for this arc. We didn't get much 1A students fighting here. We only had the Tokoyami, the stuff with Calamari, and that's basically it. So I guess unless they do something balls to the walls crazy, that could happen. But overall, this was a good chapter, and yeah, Present Mike was basically the best part, and basically got the good parts in this chapter, having his big moment punching the Mad Doctor in the face, or most likely the jaw. But yeah, so until then, I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next chapter of My Hero Academia, chapter 270. So until then, have a good day, and I'll see you soon. So until then, bye for now.